So our focus of this vlog is all about sharing you the tips on how to improve our defecation processes or our urination process. So this will be all about elimination. So eliminating our bowel and eliminating our urine. Welcome back, Rebel Pips. Welcome to Brain Blitz TV, and today is a brand new episode of this channel, and this is in response to our existing situation today, which is all about a problem, especially because we are mandated to stay at home. So this will be our current tips. So this is all about the totally innovative personalized suggestions. So our focus of this vlog is all about sharing you the tips on how to improve our defecation processes or our urination process. So this will be all about elimination. So eliminating our bowel and eliminating our urine. So this bowel and urine are essential to be eliminated because of course these are considered to be waste products in the body. So our urine is actually waste products, especially it contains our nitrogenous waste and other waste products in our body when it comes to its fluid components. And at the same time, it's essential for us also to get rid of this metabolic waste, especially the byproducts of carbohydrates and at the same time protein, through our fecal matter or through our bowels. Therefore, it is essential for us to eliminate these two things, our urine and the bowel. So in order for us to easily remember these 13 tips on improving our bowel and urine elimination, I made a personalized mnemonic, and that's gonna be the word urine and bowel. So it's composed of three words, and these three words are urine and bowel. So it's composed of the following letters. Let's have letter U, letter R, letter I, letter N, letter E, letter A, letter N, letter T, letter B, letter O, letter W, letter E, at saka letter L. So let's begin with the first letter or the first word, and it's gonna be the word urine. So let's begin with letter U. Letter U is use the bathroom often. So it is essential for us to remember that of course using the bathroom often is gonna be one way of simulating your urination and at the same time your defecation process. So it is good for us to use the bathroom most often, but of course it's not gonna be more on increasing your frequency, because of course if there will be problems with increasing frequency of using the bathroom, there has to be an existing problem then. So in order for us to take into consideration that you have used your bathroom on a specific period, then you have to use the bathroom more often or when it is actually needed. Let's now have the second letter, and it's gonna be letter R. Letter R is relaxed position when urinating and defecating. So according to standards, of course, when you urinate, of course, women usually will sit down or squat, and of course, men will usually urinate via standing. So that is one way or another adapting to our own gender or sex. But of course, when we do our defecation, so it is advised that we are going to assume the squatting position, because of course that will usually compress our abdominal area, and then compressing the abdominal area is one way or another simulate the defecation process, and that's actually advised by of course our experts then. So as much as possible, we have to make sure that we have to have a relaxed position when we do our urination and defecation. That's the second letter. Let's now have letter I. Letter I is institute enough time to empty the bladder and at the same time the rectum. So as much as possible, we have to spend an extended time in order for us to empty our bladder properly, because of course it is good for us to eliminate our urine, because of course if there will be instances that there is gonna be an ample amount of residual urine, it could possibly be a good breeding ground for bacterial growth, and at the same time it could possibly be a ground also for stones to develop. At the same time, if there will be a problem with your defecation, and if there will be possibility that some of the matters or fecal matters are actually left inside your rectum, it could actually probably develop into an impacted fecal matter or an impacted bowel. So what will happen then is it will actually going to make this area to be obstructed with the flow of your fecal matters then later on. So as much as possible, we have to institute enough time in emptying the bladder and at the same time our bowel. So that is letter I. Let's now have letter N. Letter N is no to smoking and limit caffeine intake. So as much as possible, of course, smoking must have to be avoided because of course in all of my vlogs before, so I've always mentioned that of course as much as possible there has to be no smoking, because of course this nicotine could actually have problems with our way of elimination, or our way of eliminating our waste products. And at the same time, as what I mentioned earlier also in our previous vlog, that of course coffee could actually be good in order to simulate defecation, but of course as much as possible it has to be minimized, because of course sometimes there's a possibility that this caffeine could actually going to be a factor for inducing constipation. So as much as possible, no to smoking and minimize caffeine. To complete our first word, that's letter E. Letter E is exercise regularly. So as much as possible, it is essential for us to take into consideration that when we do exercise, there has to be an improvement of our elimination process. Especially when we do our exercise, it will actually increase the chances that we're going to eliminate urine properly, and at the same time, it will actually improve our way of eliminating our bowel. And at the same time, this is one way also for us to make sure that we're going to feel relaxed, especially when we do our elimination processes. So we're done with the first word. Let's proceed now to the second word, and that word is the word and. It is composed of the following letters with letter A, letter N, at saka letter D. Let's begin with letter A. Letter A is avoid constipation. So as much as possible, if there is a need or if there's a routine of you doing your defecation on a daily basis, as much as possible you do that one daily. Because of course, if there's a possibility that constipation is actually experienced by you on a regular basis, there's a possibility also that that will be the usual things that you're going to experience. And at the same time, if there will be problems with constipation, so this bowel is going to stay longer in your large intestine. Of course, if they will stay longer in your large intestine, there will be an ongoing metabolic process that will actually happen inside your bowel, and that will usually create another problem then later on. So as much as possible, avoid constipation. That's letter A. Let's now have letter N. Letter N is no to bowel straining. So of course, as much as possible, there has to be no bowel straining, or especially when you are going to experience problems, especially if you're going to be constipated. So if you experience constipation, so as much as possible, increase your fluids and at the same time your fiber intake, because of course this is one way of preventing your constipation then. So when you strain, there's a possibility that of course there is gonna be a simulation of your formation of hemorrhoids. So there will be instances that of course these hemorrhoids could actually be promoted, especially if there will be straining. At the same time, straining can usually happen if there is actually constipation. So that is no to straining when defecating. Let's now have letter D. Letter D is drink enough fluids. So in my previous vlogs, so it is intended for us to make sure that there has to be an increasing in fluids. So I've mentioned earlier that these fluids are actually enough in order to maintain vital functions in the body. So in order for us to eliminate proper waste products, so it's essential for us to have enough water supply in the body. So drink enough water. So we're done with our second word. Let's proceed now to our third word, and that's gonna be the word bowel. So let's begin with letter B. Letter B is bowel stimulation. So bowel and urine stimulation. So of course there are things that you can do, especially when you stimulate your bowel. So in order for you to stimulate your bowel, it's just like you're sitting on your toilet bowl. And in order for you to simulate also your urination, probably you're going to run water, flowing water, and at the same time you're going to have your suprapubic area being placed with compress or warm compress, because of course that's one way in order for you to be simulated with urination. So in order for us to be stimulated with bowel, just sit on your toilet bowl. In order for you to be stimulated with your urine, you have to turn on the faucet and at the same time place a warm water in your suprapubic area. So that is letter B. Let's now have letter O. Letter O is pay and observe attention to patterns. So of course there are things that can be done, or there are things that are basically being observed, especially when we do your elimination. So probably you have to take attention or pay attention with the routines or your schedule. So as much possible, if there will be changes in these patterns, so these changes in the patterns could actually be having impact towards your total functioning then. So as much possible, pay attention with your pattern. So that is letter O, observe and pay attention to your pattern. Let's now have letter W. Letter W is wash hand when you're done. So when you're actually done in urination, when you're done with your defecation, as much as possible, this has to be done, because of course this is one way in order for us to get rid of the possibilities that infection might actually set in, because of course there are infections that could possibly be through oral fecal route. So as much as possible, we have to wash our hands for at least 20 seconds, and at the same time we have to apply warm water, and at the same time antiseptic soap, because of course this is one way of getting rid of the possibilities that you will infect yourself with infection, then especially coming from your stool or from your urine. So as much as possible, wash your hands when you're done. Let's now have letter E, illicit squatting position. So when you do a squatting position, that will usually enhance then the capacity of you to eliminate these things, like for example urine, at the same time your bowel, because of course squatting compresses your abdominal area, thus it will stimulate you to defecate and urinate. So that is letter E. Let's now have the final letter of this tips, and that's gonna be letter L. Letter L is limit or eliminate irritating foods. So as much as possible, you have to limit or eliminate our irritating foods, because of sometimes this irritating foods, like for example you are actually fond of eating spicy things, like in that note, that will actually increase the possibility then that you are going to suffer the possibility of constipation. So in order for us to prevent this constipation to happen, we have to limit, or probably we have to eliminate these irritating foods for us to use or consume them. Okay, so we're done with our 13 tips in order for us to improve our urine and bowel elimination. So in order for us to remember these things, let's now have a recap of these 13 tips. Let's begin with the first word, and that's gonna be the word urine. Let's begin with that first letter. Letter U is use the bathroom often or as needed. Letter R is relaxed position when urinating and defecating. Letter I is institute enough time to empty the bladder and the bowel. Letter N is no to smoking and limit caffeine intake. Letter E is exercise regularly. Second word is the word and. Letter A is avoid constipation. Letter N is no to bowel straining. Letter D is drink enough fluids. Let's now have the third word, and that's gonna be the word bowel. Letter B is bowel simulation. Letter O is observe and pay attention to patterns. Letter W is wash hands when you're done. Letter A is illicit squatting position. Letter L is or cut irritating foods. So these are the 13 basic tips in order for us to improve our urine and bowel elimination. So this is the essence of this channel. So it's all about information, education, and communication. So this has been Brain Blitz TV. What's in must come out, and what's out must come in. Keep coming. And if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and of course click the notification bell for you to be updated the succeeding uploads of this channel. And also please don't forget to click the like button, and if you have some comments to improve this channel, please don't forget to comment, and please don't forget and hesitate to comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.